Canyon University and your Colorado State Rams. Introducing tonight's starting lineup for the Antelopes in left defense, number 26, Brett Kramer. And right defense, number 7, Andrew Cronin. And left wing, number 91, Preston Larson. At center, number 82, Greg Ruins. At right wing, number 3, Trey Green. And in goal, number 31, Chandler Rand. Grand Canyon is coached by Daniel Roy, and the assistant is Kelly Newton. And now, from the Honor Box starting lineup, for your Knights in the green and gold, the Colorado State Rams. And left defense, a junior from Arvada, number 4, Noah Miller. And right defense, a freshman from Littleton, number 14, Brendan Eber. And left wing, a freshman from Brielle, New Jersey, number 6, Aiden Tolbay. At center, a junior from Highlands Ranch, number 23, Tanner Hewitt. And right wing, a junior from Denver, number 17, C.J. Mitchell. And turning in goal, a junior from Highlands Ranch, number 30, Joe Morgan. Head coach of the Colorado State Rams is Joel Weeks. The assistant is Jameson Wicks. Tonight's officials are linesman Matt Tyrell and Connor Fenn. The referees are Craig Steinhauer and Dan Van Arsdale. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with our national anthem and the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Let's go!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ColoradoSports.TV. You're tuning into the matchup between Colorado State University and Grand Canyon University hockey here in Fort Collins. I'm Litos Castro, joined by Sydney Wicker, Scott Sligister running it all behind the scenes for us. Sydney, welcome to the whole magic that is CSU hockey here in Fort Collins. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited. I know they're coming off of a loss, but I'm excited to see what happens here tonight. This team's had a lot of fight all season, so we'll have to see. What happens.
It's going to be a good one. Taking a look at the two teams in front of us, the Rams, like you said, coming off a loss, also is GCU. They're going to be the Antelopes tonight, or the Lopes as they like to refer to themselves. So both teams looking to bounce back from a loss this season as we get ready for first puck drop of the night. Let's play some hockey. The Lopes will win the opening faceoff as they drop back into their own zone, looking to find some options. Rams looking to start aggressively as the puck gets caught up near the point just outside the Rams' defensive end. Now, Sydney, it's your first time joining us today. Anything you're looking for between these two teams?
You know, just seeing the Rams play the Buffs last weekend and just seeing how they were able to come out and bring that game into overtime on Friday and then again overtime on Saturday when they were at CU. This team, I've enjoyed watching their tenacity all season. They've always had a little bit of fight in them despite some of the losses that they've had. But, you know, GCU's coming out into this game with a lot of fatigue. When I was talking to the coaches before the game, they were in the airport for 3 hours before their flight took off, and that was after they went through security and everything. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I think it'll be pretty close, though.
We'll have to see how it turns out, and we'll wonder if that fatigue takes a toll on GCU as Kyle Riley looking to make a play near the faceoff circle. The puck just goes behind the net. In between the posts for GCU tonight is Chad Duran. Trying to hold it up, and I believe he's Daniel Tontat taking a shot. That one goes wide of the net. Durand is usually the one they look to as the backup for GCU. He is 1-8 on the season, so he'll be looking for his second win tonight. On the other side, you'll see Joe Morgan, the big man himself for CSU, the one they usually go to. However, GCU looking to make a four-man rush down the other way. 4-on-3, passing and not able to find any shot from it. Puck near the boards and just caught up. Collision and a whistle blown. Looks like we're going to have our first penalty for holding. So that is Kyle Riley getting pushed towards the box, trying to plead his case, but all the times he's gone in the box throughout these couple seasons to no avail.
It's hard to plead to the refs, isn't it?
You can only... I mean, when was the last time you saw somebody genuinely change a referee's mind after a call was made?
I can't say it's ever been from a player. Maybe a coach, but definitely not a player.
So 2 minutes on the clock for a power play for GCU, their first of the night. 2 minutes for holding. Puck just gets dumped out for the first time. Rams starting off well on the penalty kill. 20 seconds tick by on the penalty. As far as the numbers you look at for GCU on their power play, 18.3% successful, so not too strong, especially when a shot coming, that one not able to find the back of the net. Rams looking to get it cleared out. Hoffman, he's got two Lopes on his back, just trying to get it loose. And they will, trying to find a pass across, looking to juggle it, covered up for just a moment, loose puck inside the crease. Morgan just trying to get on it, and he will. He lost it for a second, but he comes out with the cover-up.
What a way for Joe Morgan to come out and kind of attack that. I know that's something he's really specialized in this season, so wow, nice save. Nice way to start off the game, especially when you don't want the other team coming in with a hot start.
We'll probably like to see more of that tonight, and like you were talking about with the Buffs last week, I mean, Morgan used his classic chase-out move there in the shootout, which paid off for him, and it usually does, as Tyler Nelson tries to clear the puck out, goes along the boards. Nitchin collides with a Lope as well. They're going to get the dump out. More time off the clock halfway through this first penalty of the night. Starting from their own zone, the Lopes will look to start it off. Sullivan Murphy will hand it off to Zach Bennett. Trying to send it into the zone. It goes out of play. We'll have a face-off just outside the CSU zone. The players to look out for GCU. Sydney, any of them sticking out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Declan Carter, number 15. You know, he has had 19 points so far this season. He leads the Lopes. I definitely think he's a threat to look out for.
We'll keep an eye on him. And speaking of point leaders, the Rams are actually missing a few key ones tonight.
Absolutely, yes. I was speaking with Nicholas Marcassini's parents before the game. They came out all the way from California, and Marcassini's not going to be playing tonight due to injury. I guess just within the last couple games getting beat up so badly, he decided to sit these ones out. But he's still got a lot of time. He's not graduating, so that is one perk for him.
I'm sure the Rams are happy about that. GCU making a push in. Taking a shot. Big save, looking for the rebound. Not going to be able to get it. Two big saves by Morgan as the puck gets knocked in towards the corner. Lopes just trying to keep the attack alive, and the puck just comes out of the zone. The player couldn't quite keep it in. That was actually Carter himself who fumbled the puck a little bit, and that's going to take the rest of the time off the clock. Rams are back to even strength. They kill off the first penalty, and right now the Rams looking to turn it around. CJ Nitchin racing in, trying to pull it back, but not going to be able to get a shot from it. It's just a little too out of range. Collision near center ice, and Rams trying to break up the play. Nice job. Dumped in towards Morgan. He'll just hand it off towards the side there. That's Cowden who handles it, tries to send it around to Moreno. Moreno looking to break free. Not going to be quite able to. Buck gets knocked back behind Morgan's net one more time. Cowden has got a couple lopes around him, passes it. Is able to get it out of the zone. Millard, lots of quick passing for the Rams right now to Moreno. Pass across and just broken up by the Lopes. Comes out of the zone one more time. Noah Miller on the ice. We saw a lot of that combination last week as well. Miller gets knocked off the puck for a moment as he was looking for Hoffman. And now puck moving in deeper towards the Lope zone, but they break up the play nicely. Back in towards center ice and dumped back into CSU zone. Morgan will come out and dish it himself towards Hoffman. Hoffman able to work around one, but he's got a Lope on his back. Puck comes out of the zone. I'm sure that's what they want. Aiden Tolnai now pushing in for the Rams. Near the glass once again. Miller comes in with a big check, and some of the fans jumped up off of that hit right there.
Yeah, they did. Wow. It's definitely starting to get really aggressive here.
And that's not something we're unfamiliar with the Rams, that's for sure.
And I love it, though. When you have an aggressive team, I think that just really adds to the not only the way that they play, but the way that they come out so strong. And like I've said, they fought in every single game. They're able to bring it, and as long as they're doing that, as a coach, you have to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah. GCU trying to take some control back in their own zone. However, Grayson North keeping the puck inside the zone. Smart play. Caught in towards the corner. Players are trying to have it come loose, and it does. Looking across, shot coming. Huge save by Duran. That was a nice setup play from the Rams. Moving from the corner, get the centering pass towards the slot, and they get the shot. But Duran with a huge save.
Yeah, we've seen both of these goalies come out with pretty huge saves. Might be a low-scoring one.
We'll see.
We will.
Feisty these two teams are right out the gate, and we're not even 10 minutes through this first period. Puck gets back to North, shot coming, not able to make it on goals. A couple bodies blocked it on the way there. That's Kyle Nelson battling for it. He's one of the point leaders for the Rams. Moreno not able to hold on to it. Lopes take it away, now carrying it out of the zone. That's Corey Potak, who's able to dish it off. Trying to come in through the slot, just gets away. However, Lopes take it right back as the Rams were trying to clear it out. Near the slot, takes a shot, bouncing puck, and Gebhardt able to catch it out of the air and drop it, and he carries it behind Morgan's net, trying to get it out of the danger zone. However, Lopes take it back one more time. Just working it back, goes behind Morgan's net again, not able to find the wraparound. Looking for the pass across, shot coming, that one goes wide of the net. Sigh of relief for the Rams one more time. Collision near the boards there, and puck comes out of the zone. Rams can breathe for a moment as the Lopes are going to go for a line change. Rams will make a few changes as well, so they'll start from their own zone. Tyler Nelson with a long ice pass, trying to work it around, but Lopes will end up forcing the turnover. Could be a one-on-one opportunity here. Taking a shot, but Nelson with the block there. That was Trey Green going for the shooting opportunity. Puck just getting away from a couple players there in the corner, and Nelson gets tangled up with an antelope there. Back in towards the corner. And it looks like a player going down in the corner.
Yeah, lots of aggression we're seeing. Saw both those, or all four of those players really getting into that action.
Trying to take another shot, and just gets knocked all the way around. Comes back from point to point, and gloved up by Morgan on that shot. Taking a look at the two teams' records, CSU at home 7-12, GCU on the road 3-13. So both teams really looking to improve their records right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Puck gets sent all the way around one more time. A lot of just circling here in the CSU zone. Rams just trying to get out. However, Antelopes providing some good pressure. Puck at the faceoff circle, shot coming, and another save by Morgan as they'll get knocked back in towards the corner. CSU just getting pushed back on their heels and not really able to breathe right now. Players tangled up the other way. Puck comes up towards Morgan. He'll cover it up one more time. GCU getting ready for another offensive face-off. Carter is back out on the ice, and he's able to win the face-off, but it comes just out of the zone. So Rams will have a chance to get some possession, probably take some control here. Coming out of the zone with a lot of speed, that's Brendan Beaver, is able to hand it off to Joseph for just a second. Puck gets knocked away and towards the side. Riley not able to keep the play alive as Lopes will break up the play. Smart job from them. Tyler Millar will be able to pass it off. Moving in, looking for the shot, passing towards the center, looking for the windup. A little bit of juking around there. Some few dangles, and Morgan will get the cover up on the loose puck. Both teams will make a few changes on this next faceoff. 12:08 left to go here in the first period. Steel Mill goes scored. Interesting thing about this Grand Canyon team is that the Rams have not faced them.
Yes, this is their first season actually being a Division I team, so a lot of adjustments for GCU so far this season.
And I'm sure the Rams are looking to make this a difficult matchup for them. They don't want to make it too easy. Nelson trying to work it around Morgan's net and gets passed back, so North will have it for CSU. Gets a quick pass towards Gebhardt. Another 1-2 situation coming on the near side in towards the corner. Crashing into the boards and towards the corner. Lopes looking to turn this around. They're looking to do it with some speed. Dumping it all the way around. Morgan will come out to use his own stick. Tries to send it back. He's got to get back in position. Loose puck, and he's going to have to cover it up, from the side. That was dangerous.
Move, yes. I was very surprised to see that from Joe Morgan, but wow.
I'm sure the team, doesn't mind his wrists, but
yeah, that one might have been a little too close for comfort.
There's a line, okay?
There is. There is.
Corey Potak to take the face off for GCU, and he'll win it. Gets it back towards the point, sent across near the blue line, just gets away from the defender, and wrapping all the way around one more time, comes out of the zone. Now it's a race for it. Tolnai trying to get there first, but he's not going to be able to, as Torreira got his stick there first, but the Rams take it away. Back in deep, looking for the slot pass. Shot coming. That one, I believe, just went zooming by the net. Didn't really make it on goal. Taken away one more time. Tanner Gillis looking for the centering pass one more time, but too many bodies in the way. Lopes take possession and carry it out of the zone now. 2-on-3. Now 3 Lopes rushing after it. Dumped in towards the corner. A floater puck. And Cowden takes a little bit of a check in towards the boards as the Rams look to clear it out of their zone. Beaver will send it on ahead towards center ice across the center line. They'll dump it in as well. So both teams making some changes as we're reaching the halfway point here in the first period. Along the boards, Rams just trying to get some control. Hoffman, he's got one Lope in front of him. He'll use Morgan as his own little shield to turn the play around. However, just gets away. And that's Askel Campbell for the Rams, not able to keep it in the zone. So Miller, will go all the way back to retrieve. Preston Larson able to turn the puck over, forces a turnover, centering pass, shot coming, one big save, no rebound allowed. That is a dangerous turnover for the Rams right there. However, trying to turn it around now, going the other way. Rams have one man ahead, gets tangled up and taken down. That's Max Engel trying to make the push and the counter attack, but not able to come away with anything there.
You said it, Litos. These Rams are making some dangerous plays right now, potentially hurt them. They're going to have to start turning that around here in the next couple minutes to avoid any kind of goals being scored on their net.
And I believe that's going to be a penalty on the Rams there. If I had to guess anything, interference. Yep, the referee holding up the X. So another penalty against CSU, which means the second power play for Grand Canyon. I believe that's Tyler Nelson going into the box for the Rams. So another one-man advantage for the Lopes for another 2 minutes. Can the Rams hold on, or will the Lopes get the first goal of the game? Passing in deep towards the corner. Rams trying to break it up, but the Lopes come away. Sent across the blue line, looking for some options, taking a shot. A body blocked it. Gebhardt able to make the body block himself. Trying to hold it up in the corner is Beaver. Quick 1-2 passing from the Lopes in the corner. Smart job looking to create some space, and they do. Further in deep, looking to come in close. Backhander shot and a huge check by Miller. And I think that one shook up the Antelope. And a shot coming, it actually hits his own man as he tries to take another shot, and Morgan will cover it up. These teams, you said it, Sydney, they're getting aggressive right now.
Absolutely. You can see over there in the corner, we've got Beaver kind of getting in the face with the Lopes over there. They're going to have to be careful, but I do like seeing the aggression, especially this far into the season.
And it looks like Tyler Millar, who was the one that took the big check from Miller right in front of Morgan, he headed off the ice. So I think he's just taking a moment. He was able to skate off on his own power, so that's a good sign, but we hope he's okay.
Yeah,
he definitely wasn't ejected or anything. Right now the puck caught in towards the corner. 1:10 left to go in the penalty. 8:40 in the period. Hoffman doing a very good job to take it away from the Antelopes. However, on his attempt to clear it out, he just sends it out of play. So it looks like we'll have a face-off just outside CSU zone. A little breathing room for them. Lopes will have to work it in the zone if they win the face-off. Matthew Mezek to take the face-off for the Lopes, and he'll win it. Long ice pass across, switching sides, and dumped all the way around. Hoffman trying to just hold on. He does this a lot where he'll just try to hold the puck along the wall as much as he can. Morgan making a stick side save, knocking it down. Just about 45 seconds left in the penalty as CSU will clear it out of the zone. Lopes will go and retrieve. Duran having relatively quiet time on the other side. Lopes will dump it in one more time, and whistle blown. Couldn't quite get the right angle on it. .32 seconds left on the power play. Declan Carter will take the faceoff one more time. Leading point man for GCU. Not able to win it, though. Rams cleared out of the zone just quickly. However, Antelopes get it right back. Murphy sends it across to Bennett. Bennett holding himself. Going to carry it across the center line. Gets by Campbell. Looking to take it into the faceoff circle. Possibly carry it in. Just driving around. Sends it back near the boards. And Rams trying to take advantage now of the loose puck for a moment. Lopes get it back. In the corner. Pass back towards Carter. Carter able to dodge a check there. However, CSU able to hold on, and they kill off another penalty. 0 for 2 for GCU. And now Joseph looking to turn it around. He's got one man to beat and not able to get it by him. And Joseph takes a check into the boards. That's going to be a penalty on GCU. That was a check in Joseph's back, and he went right in face first into the glass. That couldn't have felt good.
Absolutely not. Quite a few penalties to start off this first period, Litos.
And that's something we always talk about a lot, is the discipline from both teams and how do they hold up. And right now, obviously the Rams have had 2. This will be GCU's first penalty of the night. Anything you were talking a little bit about that aggressiveness earlier, Sydney. You think that's going to be the game plan for the Rams now that they have the man advantage?
You know, you have to be careful in situations like this, especially when you have players like Nicholas Marcassini out, and then you also have Sean Patton out. Those are 2 guys who have kind of helped lead the Rams. So you can't get too aggressive and constantly have guys out because that just weakens you on offense. So, you know, they're going to have to be careful, but aggression does help, especially in hockey. So they just got to play smart.
We'll see if they can do just that. Murphy is the one in the box for the Lopes. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Rams just trying to get in the zone. They will. Tanner Gillis, he's got some help. Joseph takes the shot. Glove side save, just knocked down. And that was Duran. I think he was looking to find it in his glove. He knew it hit him, but he just didn't know where the puck went afterwards. Morgan will send it out of the zone, trying to get it towards Joseph, but it's just going to go by. Almost jumped right back into the zone, held up at the blue line by Millar. Gillis gets held up now. The Lopes are actually the ones being pretty aggressive on the penalty kill right now. 1:10 left to go in the penalty. Rams having some trouble just getting in the zone right now. Gillis able to work by one Lope, but he's quickly back in retreat and caught up along the boards. Comes out of the zone. Rams have to go and chase yet again. Cowden will be the one to do it. Cowden will hold it up as a few Rams make quick changes. They'll start their 5-man attack with the man advantage. Jeff Hart from his own zone, carried across the blue line and the center. He'll carry it into the zone himself. He loses his footing for just a moment, tries to send it on ahead to Tolnai, and he will. Nice athletic play. Sent back towards the blue line. Cowden send it across to Hoffman. Wind up shot coming and big save by Duran in towards the corner. And Tolnai trying to win it back, and he will. Behind Duran's net. Caught up near the face-off circle. Lopes lose it for just a second. Jeff Hart just has the puck get out of reach, and the Lopes will clear it out. Well done by GCU to clear it out and hold on there in a chaotic situation. Moreno trying to get it in the zone, but it just comes out. Offside play, and already GCU killed off this penalty with pretty solid defense. So the Lopes are back to even strength. They kill off their first penalty against them and trying to get some offense going, but the Rams shut it down. Hoffman will just dump it on ahead. Send it all the way around the boards. However, he was just behind that center line, so it's going to be icing. .508 left to go in the period. Still no goals scored, though. So if anything, that's going to speak towards the defenses for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a couple shots on goal, but not a lot. These teams have both been fighting back and forth with each other.
Off the face-off, puck gets knocked into the corner. Cowden tries to send it around. A dangerous pass towards the center, but luckily for the Rams, they had one of their own guys there. Offside play, so that'll give CSU a moment to hold on to it. Hoffman, he's got two Lopes cornering him. He's able to send it all the way down towards Riley into the other zone. He gets caught up and a penalty arm goes up. This one's going to be on GCU again for interference. I'm wondering, that looks like Murphy again. Murphy heading back into the box after he just came out. And that's something I think the coaching staff is going to look for him to clean up. 2 penalties within 5 minutes of each other.
Absolutely. You can't be making mistakes like that if your team's relying on you to get back out there and stay in the game. Which puts you right back in. Yeah. You shouldn't be coming right back out.
Especially as the second leading point producer for his team. That's a key player down. Rams doing some quick passing near the blue line. Didn't really see that from them at the beginning of the season, but they're showing it right now. Gillis takes a shot. It's a save by Duran. Beautiful effort there by Kyle Nelson to keep it in the zone. Not letting his team be forced outside. Collision near the boards. Gillis will keep it in, sending it back in towards the corner. Millar's going to be there to retrieve. Near the board, send it back towards the blue line. Just across, couldn't quite handle it, so the Rams will have to retreat. 30 seconds gone in the second power play chance for the Rams. Moving on in is Gillis. Tried to drive on net, but it just got away. Looking for Joseph behind him. Joseph passing across to Gillis. Gillis holding, sends it further in deep. Along the boards, looks like he lost sight of where he was in the rink for a second. Joseph goes down, and Rams will send it across. Millar looking for a shot, but I think that got deflected on the way there. Quick little 1-2. Riley trying to find some open space. Less than a minute now to go in the penalty. Gillis sends it across, looking for a shot, gets blocked. GCU doing a good job with the body blocking on their own end. And we're going to get a whistle blown. It looks like it's going to be a penalty for slashing. I'm not sure on who, though. Looks like it's going to be on GCU. Matthew Mezek, number 9, heading into the box, and he almost seemed confused or just pondering of why or how the call was made. So this is going to be a 5-on-3 chance for the Rams. We haven't seen one of these in a long time here at Epic. And it's going to be interesting to see if the Rams can come out with a goal here for 47 seconds of 5-on-3.
Yeah, if there's any chance to capitalize, it's right now. You've got all your guys down here. You really got to connect on these passes and try and get a shot on goal.
Hoffman doing some quick passing with Cowden near the back line here. Rams just looking to slowly close in on these Antelopes, and Cowden loses the puck for a second, and that gets a nice clear, and they force him out of the zone. Now, those are the mistakes that you cannot have, especially when you have these opportunities like you're talking about, Sydney.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what they do as they're coming back down right here.
Tolnai looking to send the puck across. Hoffman and Cowden, quick little 1-2, 10 seconds left before Lopes get their fourth man back on the ice. Hoffman Quick little 1-2 again. Cowden winding up shot, was looking for the near post side, but it just goes wide and high. And again, looking for a pass back, and it just goes out of the zone. A little bit of sloppy play right now from the Rams, even on their own power play. Hoffman has to go back and retrieve. So just about a minute with a 5-on-4 now. 2.5 minutes left to go in the period. Puck near center ice, not able to quite come away with it and deflected on the dump in, and Rams have to now work it out of their own zone with some aggressive antelopes on their own side. Jeff Hart trying to use some of his speed and agility. He's going to get by, but it's just a little too quick by Riley on the near side, so offside will be called and face-off coming. And the power play isn't something that the Rams are necessarily experts in, only 13.6% successful on the power play. However, GCU on the other side with the penalty kill, 71% success rate when they're a man down, so they almost equalize out when they're hitting the lower numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good for the Lopes in their situation to be able to fight back when they're down a man and just come out with even stronger aggression. I wonder what their season would look like if they didn't have as many men on the box, if they'd have an even better record.
Looking to stay disciplined, I think, is going to be the key. Gillis looking for the pass across, not able to find Riley, who just dishes out a check instead of a shot. 10 seconds are going to tick down on the power play, which is going to give GCU even strength with just about a minute and a half left to go in period number 1. Kyle Nelson with the puck. He's going to use Morgan as his own shield. 5-on-5, here we are. Jeff Hart racing across himself. He's going to carry it in. Tries to deke his way all the way to Duran on the post, but not able to find him, let alone a shot. Rams have to retreat now as the Lopes are trying to push on ahead. Comes back in towards GCU zone near the faceoff circle along the boards. Coming near the point, trying to send it towards Campbell, but couldn't find him. Lopes taking it down the other way. Looking for a long pass, just barely carrying it on the blue line, but just went across, so it's an offside play. That was Green looking to make the quick rush ahead, but he just barely got his last skate over the blue line. Refs call it back. Carter to take the faceoff again for GCU. Rams will win it. Moreno gets it for his team. Cowden will dump it on ahead. Less than a minute to go in the period. Carter will try to send it forward for his team, and Moreno able to send it back where it came from. Lopes have it and looking. Loose puck for just a moment. Fumbled with it. That was Colin Madrid. Forced into his own zone. Centered across. And Beaver able to keep it in the zone. Backhands it forward. Lopes just looking to not have any mistakes of their own right now. Puck comes out, and now Carter has it. Dumps it right on towards Morgan as the Rams will dish out a check. And he'll glove it up, so we'll have a face-off with just under 15 seconds left. So, Sydney, we're reaching the end of the period here. Anything sticking out to you, especially in a scoreless game between these two teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think CSU's been slacking quite a bit. Maybe that comes from their loss that they had yesterday against UNLV. I know they were on a 6-game win streak. So for them to lose, I feel like they're playing down a little bit right now. Hopefully going into that locker room, they'll change their mentality. Because when I was talking to Coach ahead of time, he said that they're having a bounce-back mentality, but I don't think we've seen it yet on the ice so far.
Well, that's probably something they're going to talk about in the second period in the locker room, and I'm sure the Lopes will have some things of their own that they're looking to correct, specifically that discipline and staying out of the box so quickly. But after one period of play, we are still scoreless here in Fort Collins. But don't worry, we've got 2 more periods of hockey coming up. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuning into the action between CSU and GCU hockey. We're getting ready for the second period of action here. We are still scoreless after one period of play. I'm Litos Castro, joined by Sydney Werger, Scott Sledgister running it all behind the scenes. Sydney, Rather uneventful first period in terms of scoring. However, the aggressive nature from both teams did not fail to show up tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been showing up a lot with aggressiveness, but still seeing some sloppy play from both teams. We've seen it from Lopes. They've had a couple shots on goal, just not being able to finish. And same from CSU when they get down here, or even when the Lopes have a few guys in the penalty box. The Rams aren't capitalizing on that. So, going into this second period, a lot of adjustments need to be made for both teams, but we'll have to see. Hopefully that little message in the locker room got them all fired up and ready to come out and play.
We'll see. Can only imagine what the coaching staff is going to be talking to them about. As far as the overall situation right now, the Lopes, had 3 penalties to CSU's 2. It was originally the Rams that started off in the box, but Lopes having some discipline issues near the end of the period. However, the Lopes were getting, as far as that aggressiveness nature, Lopes were pushing the Rams on their heels a lot during last period, especially even on their own power play. So we'll look to see who comes out on top right now, as GCU looking to have the first offensive push of the second period. Puck along the boards. Let's see how the Rams adjust defensively so that they spend less time here. Miller almost has the puck taken away from him for just a second, but he's able to come away with it. Looks to send it out, gets it towards Gebhardt. He's getting a lot of ice time today. Gebhardt sends it long ice pass across. It gets dumped in by Kyle Nelson. Goes around the boards and behind the net. Again, in between the posts tonight for GCU is Chad Duran. He hasn't had to make too many big saves. Rams haven't really had that many shots on goal. However, Joe Morgan, he's had to come away with some big plays, as both combined with that sloppy nature you've been talking about, Sydney, but also just some nice playmaking from GCU.
Absolutely. If GCU can keep it up, they can definitely finish in the net, but that's been their biggest struggle. That's what we've talked about from both teams. They're not finishing and getting the puck in the back of the net. So that's going to be key for both of these teams. Hockey tends to be a low-scoring game, but it can be even lower in that nature. But we've seen CSU go into quite a few overtimes so far this season. I know they have a 2-1 record when it comes to overtime. I think they should avoid that as much as possible and try and score early, score often. That's my method, but we'll have to see.
Right now, we just had a penalty call against Brendan Beaver for the Rams, so they go back on the penalty kill, their third penalty of the night. Things getting real feisty in the faceoff circle just as this power play is getting started for the Lopes. Goes in towards the corner, both number 10s at it. Both Jeffrey Payne and Grayson North going after it for just a second. Puck gets knocked out of play just near the point. So 10 seconds taking off the penalty there, but not a strong start for the Rams going into the box so quickly. Face off just outside CSU zone, getting more of that breathing room, and Millar will get tossed out of the face-off circle. Nitchin will replace him. Puck gets knocked all the way across the blue line. Brett Ruiz will go out and retrieve it. Nelson gets knocked down by Carter for the Lopes. Puck still at the point. Gets sent further in deep, looking for the centering pass. Nitchin trying to break it up. Comes back near the blue line. Just inching further in. Takes a shot pad save by Morgan. First save of the second period. Nitchin will go down. Rams want a tripping penalty, but they're not going to get one. Intercepted on the way there. Taking a shot, just goes wide. He was looking for the far post. That was Payne on the shot. Back near the blue line, sent across for a look, and not able to find the back of the net one more time. Another good save by Morgan there. Lopes doing some pretty good job on the power play, taking some shots so far, and we're halfway through as the puck gets tangled up near along the boards. Just behind Morgan's net, comes loose, and Nitchin also looking for a penalty. He's going to get it this time.
So far we've seen the Lopes really taking advantage on offense over here, really keeping it on their side, but the Rams need to start forcing it out and stepping up a little bit on defense if they want to continue to avoid any kind of shots on goal, especially with their goalie, Joe Morgan. It makes it a little bit easier on them when they can step it up on defense.
100%, Sydney. I can't say I disagree with you. Jeffrey Payne just went into the penalty box, I believe, for slashing, and CJ Nitchin was the victim of the slash, and he was not happy. He was even having some words with the ref after the penalty was called, after he got what he wanted. So I think he's just really wanting the official to be more observant to what he is looking for, at least what he says he's experiencing. But now we're going to have some 4-on-4 action the first time. Then a shot scores! Rams get the first goal of the night in the 4-on-4 action.
What a way for the Rams to come in on that. That's the aggression that we've been talking about and waiting to see. You know, I see these guys over here, they're dancing, they're having fun on the sidelines, and now we're starting to see that on the ice again. I hope they don't like the taste of the loss that they experienced yesterday, because this is a good way and a much better taste to leave in their mouths right now.
CSU's got to feel good about that one. 9 seconds into the 4-on-4 action, and CSU gets the leading goal, the first one of the night. It took us a little bit, but we got there with 18:08 left in this second period.
What did I say, Lito? Score early, score often. 9 seconds, that's all it took.
Wise words of Sydney. We'll make that a segment here. So CSU takes the lead as we have the puck drop again at center ice. How will the Lopes respond? And now becomes the question, as the Rams looking to make another push in the 4-on-4 action. Only 34 more seconds of it before the Rams will have a power play of their own. And if they can get goal number 2, a second goal on the power play, that would also be just another big confidence booster for this Rams team. You can only imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see if they can do that. But, you know, the Lopes, they're not happy with that. So I'm sure they're coming out with a lot of aggression right now. We'll have to see how they do.
CSU starting from their own zone near the face-off circle. Moreno's going to have the puck, and he'll pull it back one more time, actually. Looks like they're just delaying it so that they can get their fifth man out on the ice. Moreno going to try and use some speed now, carries it himself across the blue line, pulls it back, takes a shot, and it's a save by Duran. It gets knocked towards the side. Riley now looking for a wraparound, takes a shot on the near post, and just swallowed up by Duran there.
Nice shot on goal, though. You know, not necessarily great positioning, I would say. It wasn't a shot that went in, obviously, but he was in the area, and he's got the right mindset. If the Rams keep doing that, I think that they can score quite a few more games in this game.
I think the man to do it is, as we just saw, Riley. He likes to do that himself. He's got some pretty good stick handling, so I wouldn't put it by him to try and work it himself. Nelson passes it across the blue line, gets it back. Quick 1-2 between the Rams at the back of the blue line, pass across, quick 1-2 shot again, scores! Just like that, they get number 2 on the power play.
Absolutely, gotta love it. Litos, what was that? 2 minutes max, maybe from the last goal we saw? I think it was under that.
Not even, yeah.
Yeah.
Rams get goal number 2. They waited, they got their power play after the 4-on-4 goal, and now they get a power play goal, and they've got a 2-goal lead all of a sudden.
Way to get after it and really take advantage. Like I said, you take those shots on goal, you never know what happens. And now you're putting GCU in a position to really start bringing themselves down almost. So for them to take advantage of that, that's going to be huge, especially for the rest of this game.
Lopes now back to even strength after giving up the power play goal. Looking for that response again. Hoffman winding up, takes a shot, goes off the back of the boards. Rams trying to get goal number 3 just like that, but they're not going to be able to.
Ooh, we see some hands going on in the action back there. Maybe they're hugging it out. I don't know.
Kyle Nelson credited with the last goal that we just saw on the power play.
You know, Litos, one of the things I love about this CSU team is how they're able to really acknowledge their players. I don't know if you know this, but they pass around a hard hat, and they give it to the hardest worker at every game. I know a couple other teams that do that. My cousin actually plays for Central Michigan, and he got it earlier this season. So I think it's fun that they do acknowledge that, and they have fun things going on in their locker room. And I hope that that's a tradition that they continue throughout the rest of their years.
Yeah, and I can imagine that they will. I mean, yeah. And speaking of like last week when they're playing their rivals, Morgan got a post-game interview, and he had that on during that interview. They put it on camera and everything. So I think you're right, and that can only help the team dynamic when they go into the locker room, like you're talking about.
Absolutely, you want to be that player that's the hardest working, the one that gets acknowledged, and that happens when you leave it all out on the ice. And so I love that they kind of have that going on. I think that's really awesome.
Plus, who doesn't love a little reward every now and again?
Exactly, exactly. Like I said, I've seen this at a couple other colleges too, so I think it's cool when you can acknowledge that on your own team and really give credibility to your teammates, as well as the coach giving that to his players, because that's awesome.
Yeah. Definitely helps the confidence, and I'm sure GCU is looking for some of that right now as they're 2 goals down here in period number 2, but the puck just comes out of the zone. CSU will have to retreat and regroup as another power play starts for the Rams. I didn't quite see what the call was as far as why GCU is in the box, but Luke Stevenson is in the penalty box for another 2 minutes, so the Rams get another power play opportunity. They say anything you can do once, you can do twice. Can Rams get goal number 3 in just about 5 minutes here in the second period? We're going to have to find out. Pass back near the blue line. Gillis has it one more time, just assisted on the last goal, tried to send it on ahead. Gebhardt has the puck knocked just off his skate, so Nelson, who scored the last goal, gives it back to Gillis. Further in deep near the face-off circle, comes back, takes a shot and just goes off Gebhardt there. A little bit of friendly fire. Riley has it now. Sending it to Gebhardt now. He's going to hold on to it. Find some space. Sends it back towards Nelson. Quick 1-2 between them. Sending it back. Just holding on, looking for the right moment. Just waiting. Sent across. Just wasn't able to find Joseph on that play. And Lopes able to get the puck and clear it out of the ice. Rams were really inching in further and further on the Lopes, trying to just close down on him, but the Lopes survived that attack. 45 seconds left in penalty number 5 for the Lopes.
You know, Litos, in those first 2 minutes, GCU really started to take it and, you know, possess their time on CSU's net. But now they've kind of changed the game over here, and they've really been holding their own on GCU.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. Right now, the Rams, a whole different team than what we saw in the first period. And right now, they've just taken some control. Hoffman winding up shot, was looking near post, couldn't find it. 15 seconds left in the power play. Rams still have control in the zone. Pass back near the blue line one more time. Cowden will send it on ahead, trying to find Moreno. He's able to get his stick on it. Now he's looking for some help. Sends it back towards Cowden. Wind up shot, bouncing puck. I'm not sure if that hit a few bodies on the way there. Passing, but hits the side, looking for the wraparound. Just wasn't quite able to get it. Lots of chaos there for just a second as Duran was backing up in almost a sort of just defensive panic. He knocked the net off the post, but nonetheless was able to survive the penalty kill.
Yeah, just in that small possession right there, that was 3 shots on goal by the Rams. Really impressive, like I said, for them to be holding their own over here. I'm really wondering what that, you know, little intermission message was in the locker room, because it's working for the Rams right now.
Can only imagine if it was something along the lines of, hey, let's show this new D1 team what it's like to be in this division.
Absolutely. Welcome to it. You're getting a wake-up call if they haven't already this season.
And you got to expect the Rams, especially the last 2 games of the season here in Fort Collins, and this is game number 1 of 2 between these 2 teams. So they're probably looking to set the tone for not only tonight, but tomorrow as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about the season that the Rams have had, they've been playing for a while. You know, their first game was back in September. Here we are in February. Action's still going on. So this team, you know, they've had quite a few games. This is the 20th here at Epic so far this season. So I'm excited to see them finishing off strong. At least that's what it looks like here tonight. And despite their season that they've had, where they've had those ups and downs, finishing strong is always something to be proud of, because that shows growth.
Right now, the Rams trying to find some offense, looking to see not only are they growing as players, but if they can grow the number on the scoreboard right now. Lopes able to force it just out of the zone. Somebody lost his stick. That's Engel who lost his stick, and we got a whistle. That's going to be offsides. 14:03 left to go in period number 2. It feels like we've been here for a little bit in period number 2, but the Rams getting 2 early goals in the period slows down the action a little bit. Rams win the faceoff. Hoffman will try to dump it in the zone. Just gets caught up at the blue line. Lopes able to carry it out. Carter gets knocked back for a moment. His teammate will have to carry it ahead for him. Sent around in towards the boards. Bennett trying to come away with it. He sends it back towards the blue line. Quick 1-2 passing, was trying to find Carter, it looks like, but just got away. Hoffman trying to pull it back and just hold on to that possession. looking to send it out of the zone, and he will. Comes right back, though. Hoffman sends it across to Miller. Miller's got a Lope on his back. Almost a dangerous play. Can't have a turnover right there, and they do. Lopes will be able to get there first. Bennett tries to pass it back. Right in the slot. Lopes might have a chance for a shot. Two sliding Rams. Takes a shot. Just goes wide. That is a chance for the Lopes that I'm sure he's going to want back. Miller looking to turn it down the other way. He's going to drive in towards the center. Shot. Scores! What a backhander shot by Noah Miller.
Back of the net. That was impressive. Wow, Litos, 3 goals. And there's so much hockey left to play just in the second period. Wow, this Rams team, they have a lot to be proud of right now.
I did not expect that one to go in. I thought that was just going to be a shot on goal. My only guess is that went through the 5-hole right between his legs. And one, as a goalie, it hurts a little bit.
Yes. I relate it to soccer. When you get a nutmeg right between the legs, oh, that doesn't feel good. It's probably even worse in hockey, especially when you're in the back of the net.
Duran's probably going to have to think about that one a little bit, but well done from Miller to just take the shot and get goal number 3. Officials having a discussion with the GCU bench, it looks like. Not sure what they're asking about. I think that was Brett Kramer who was talking to the officials on that one. Lopes will win the faceoff, but nonetheless, CSU has taken a 3-goal lead almost out of nowhere here in period number 2. And we've still got 13 minutes left in this period. However, Lopes might have a chance here. Shot coming. Nice body block by Riley. He's not afraid to lay down his body. We've seen that both last season and this season as well. And the interesting thing about the last goal was that the Rams actually turned it over in their own zone, which gave GCU a chance to take a shot. And it just zoomed by Morgan, wasn't a shot on goal, and then the Rams took it down the other way, were able to put it in the back of the net. And a shot by Beaver and a standing save, and teams aren't liking that. Millar getting into it, and he's the captain, obviously. You got to expect that from your team captain. He's not shy from that at all.
He's going to fight for his team, and we've seen these teams be aggressive so far this game, and if he doesn't like something, he's going to make sure it's clear. Not sure how effective that always is, but when you have a lead, it helps a little bit.
So it looks like both of them are going to head into the box with that sort of tussle after the whistle there. 2 minutes are going to go up, I assume, for both teams there, which means we're going to have some more 4-on-4 hockey. Rams got their first goal during 4-on-4 action.
Yes, they did. We'll see if they can do it again. Might be their luck, but.
Jeff Hart with a shot just off the face-off forces Duran to cover it up. So we'll go right back in towards the circle after 3 quick, exciting action seconds there. Lopes will make an entire line change, it looks like. Jeb Hart still in the face-off circle for CSU. And the Lopes will win the face-off, so they'll start from their own zone. Starting from behind Duran's net, Lopes pushing on ahead across center ice, but Rams break up the play. And now it's a 2-on-1 going the other way. Gets it towards North is Nelson, passes it back, shot coming, and that's a nice save by Duran, able to make the slide across. However, not a lot of power behind that 1-2 opportunity for the Rams. And players just caught up in the corner. Looks like it's going to be a penalty called in the corner. I'm not sure who they're going to call that one on. Nonetheless, one of those doors is going to open. Looks like it's going to be called on North. So it's going to be a 4-on-3 situation here. The Lopes will have the advantage.
We've talked a lot about these goals here in the last couple minutes, but holy penalty. This is getting a little crazy. We saw a lot in the first period, and now we're starting to see them really add up here in the second period. And it's still pretty early on, like we've mentioned.
So another 2 minutes up on the board against CSU as Hoffman will get a nice early clear. 4-on-3 is a situation you don't see too much of here in almost any hockey situation, as a matter of fact. The interesting thing, I think, to watch is going to be how GCU uses this open ice. There's a lot of space when you take players off the ice. How do they use it? Right now, puck caught up along the boards, comes near the point, just carried across. Madrid looking for some options, passes it back across, further in deep, looking for the quick shot off of it. Morgan tried to cover it up, but it just got cleared out by one of his teammates there, so Rams survive another attack. But for how long is the question? They're still in the danger zone. Starting again from their own side. Moving on ahead with a lot of speed. Carrying it in, passed across, near the faceoff circle, shot coming, bouncing puck. That one looked like it was going to bounce in, but just was able to knock it aside, and they dump it back out of the zone.
What a close one. Props to Joe Morgan. I think he kind of flipped it off of his foot and got it out, but man, that was close to the line right there.
Madrid looking to pass it further in deep. Carter's also out on the ice for GCU, so keep an eye on him. That top point producer gets passed across towards Potak with a save from Morgan. Pad save, wasn't able to get the clear out. This might be a chance for Carter now. Winds up, takes a shot, just goes off. Another save by Morgan. 2 seconds, and now that's the first penalty gone for both teams. So now it's a 5-on-4 for just about 30 seconds. GCU still with the power play advantage, looking to pass in towards the slot, but it just gets broken up. In the faceoff circle one more time. Carter has it, looking for the long pass across, takes a shot, just body blocked by Tyler Nelson. However, looking for the near post shot, looking for one more pass to inside, but wasn't able to get it. Along the boards. Comes in, and the Rams do a good job to hold on during the man disadvantage. However, it looks like it's going to be another penalty.
Yeah, when we saw the Lopes come around right there ready to make that shot, it was cool to see how Joe Morgan almost knew it. He was expecting that to come on his side right there, and I think that shows a lot about his intelligence of the game. He's only a junior. He's got a whole other year left if he decides to play at CSU. And I think that's awesome. That's something you should be proud of in your goalie, to be able to read the game like that and kind of expect things to happen like that. That just shows a lot of progression, a lot of experience in that position.
Yeah, and speaking of that love, like you're talking about, I mean, we saw it with the hard hat last week, and I'm sure that they love him on the bench there. They show him that support day in and day out. But Rams will have their own power play now. We're just flipping back and forth with people being in the penalty box as GCU goes back in. Hoffman near the blue line, sends it across, tried to find Cowden but couldn't find him. Corey Potak is in the box right now for GCU. It's a 2 minutes for interference call. We're seeing a lot of interference today. Interesting. Jeb Hart trying to drive in towards the net, but his play gets broken up. Brett Kramer was the one to slow that attack down. Pass across, taking a shot, pad save, looking for the rebound. Not going to be able to find it, though, as the puck gets cleared out of the zone. Hoffman's got a lope on his back. He's able to shake him off. It's his opposing number 2, Jalen Cordura. Sent around. Duran comes out of his net to send it around. We saw Morgan do that earlier, but it almost didn't pay off. Long ice pass across the zone. GCU just trying to hold on, knock down, actually gives Hoffman a moment to knock it down, gives it across to Cowden. He takes a shot, but it gets body blocked on the way there. And trying to dive out for it. Lopes mate just looking for a shorthanded opportunity, but now it's going to go the other way. Jeff Hart, he's using a lot of his speed today. Those Jets have full gas tanks, passing in towards the slot, not able to get the shot off. Rams just trying to keep the attack going. That's Daniel Tontat on the ice right now for the Rams. 30 seconds left in the power play, looking for the far post, wasn't able to find it. Has to let the puck go by him as was waiting for Joseph to get off the ice. That would have been a too many men on the ice penalty. Miller sends it all the way around for Tolnai. Back in behind Duran's net. Lopes just trying to come away with it. They haven't really been able to send it out of the zone, at least all the way towards the other side, until now. Curse of the commentator.
Gotta love when that happens.
Yes.
It's like they can hear you almost.
It's weird. They don't hear me when I'm shouting at the TV at home, but until I'm up here.
Yeah, that's a little different.
A big check into the boards. I'm sure the Rams are going to feel that presence for a moment. But the Antelopes kill off another penalty, so they survive at that one, not letting the Rams get a fourth one. However, still knocking down the door is CSU. Tontat sends it on ahead, intercepted on the way there. Lopes trying to use some speed on this next attack. Trying to carry it down, just gets away from him. That was Ruiz. He's got it again. Centering pass, shot, scores! The Lopes get one back with 7:18 in period number 2.
Nice aggression by the Lopes, but I think the crazy thing is these are both quick goals that we've seen. When CSU attacked, they got their goal in quick, and we saw that with 2 of their goals. And now for the Lopes, they just went right down the ice and were able to get it in there pretty quick.
And that's got to be a nice confidence booster for them. I mean,
Absolutely.
3 unanswered goals until now. That's got to help them feel like they aren't out of this game just yet.
Absolutely, but they're going to need a couple more if they want to tie it up before the second period ends. Not a bad little start for them.
You got to start somewhere.
You do, and coming in quick like that doesn't hurt at all.
Lopes win the faceoff again at center ice. I think that's one thing that the Lopes have been pretty successful in throughout the night is winning those faceoffs and try to see how it can work. North trying to clear it out of the zone. Just can't quite get it away. It gets tangled up behind Morgan's net. He's just trying to find where the puck is. Finally comes loose. Angle back out on the ice for CSU. Looks like someone lost a glove. Not quite sure who it is. Looks like, I'm going to guess that's a Lope that doesn't have a glove right now as the puck is just caught up in the corner. 6:45 in the period. Lots of aggressiveness. That was Jeffrey Payne who lost his stick, and that's another check on Millar from behind. And it looks like we have another whistle blown. As the puck was just offside. So 6:40 left in period number 2. 4 goals have been scored in this about 13 minutes and 20 seconds here. Lopes just pushing on in. Carter's got it right now, looking for the centering pass, but wasn't able to connect with one of his own men there. Behind Morgan's net one more time, able to break free, tried to find the slot. Nice diving effort there by Beaver, just laying down his body to stop the pass from getting in deep. Smart play that you got to respect as Foundos is taking it down for CSU. Looking for the centering pass, tried to find Cowden, but just a little bit too wide. Cowden sends it right back across, however, into the hands of the Lopes. Less than 6 minutes now. Goes all the way down for an icing call. I think that's only like the second or third icing call this game. Three fives up on the scoreboard. 5:55 in period number 2 left to play. CSU leading 3-1 as we get ready for a faceoff in the Lopes defensive end. One thing that's going to be interesting to look at is the stat sheet after this game with the penalty, with the power play and penalty kill numbers. Another icing call there. See how those stats get shaken up. I'm going to take a look at those tomorrow when we see how the success rate for both of these teams is changed.
Absolutely. It seems like every minute we're seeing someone new in that penalty box. Gotta watch out for that, though. You know, like I said, the Rams were really able to use that to their advantage when GCU was down a man. But GCU was able to score with a full bench for themselves and then also a full bench against the Rams. So, you know, the penalties have been huge, but I don't know if it's necessarily played into their goal factor.
Yeah.
Maybe they just like the challenge. Who knows?
Yeah. Is it even fun if you don't make it hard for yourself?
That's true. That's true.
Offense sends it all the way around. CSU able to work the puck from their own zone. Moreno now, he's got one Lope in front of him. He's able to get it by, but in towards the corners. Not able to get a shot from it. Hoffman tries to keep it in the zone. He will. Just barely getting it from keeping it from going across that blue line. Nelson has it. Pass across towards Moreno, who was in the slot, but just a juggling puck. Wasn't able to get it down on the ice and fire.
If he was able to possess that, who knows? That could have been close to back of the net. Goalie didn't look like he was really ready for that one.
And a big check along the boards there. That's going to give the confidence there. Moreno with a shot, but it's blocked by a skate on the way there. GCU doing a good job, at least sacrificing their bodies to help out their goaltender. Back along the boards one more time. Nelson will try to send it around, but it just goes out of play.
You know, one of the things I've loved seeing, especially from the Rams, is how they've really played with their whole bodies. You know, we saw a couple blocks off of their skates. You know, we've seen them do a couple different things here, and I think playing with all of yourself really contributes to the game. It's something that I know I love seeing. I don't know about you, Litos, but then also seeing GCU here, they had their men up close to the net trying to help out their goalie. So I think it's awesome to see those players really come out and play with everything that they got.
You know, and I got to agree with you. And as somebody who plays goalie in soccer anyway, I know I love it when my teammates aren't afraid to throw their bodies in front of the ball and help me out a little bit. So I can only imagine how Morgan and Duran feel down there when one of their teammates sacrifices themselves for it. Shot coming and gloved up by Morgan with some attitude behind it.
Very impressive. That was played with some style there.
A little snag of it.
Yeah.
Trying to send a message.
He knew what he was doing. Like I said, Joe Morgan's someone who is really reading the game, especially tonight, and that's going to really pay off for the Rams, especially next season. They have quite a few people coming back on their roster, so it's good to have a goalie that can see stuff like that and to bring them back as well.
Yeah, and when you were looking, like, you take a look at senior night that happened last week with the Buffaloes, I mean, they didn't have that many seniors on that red carpet. I think maybe 4 or 5, if I counted correctly. So you have a lot of this roster that has the potential to be coming back, and a lot of which are very good assets for this Rams team.
Absolutely.
So, which only lets them build the chemistry even more. Big check at center ice right there. And that was something we talked to them about near the beginning of the season. It's a young team, and even the coach himself, Joel Weeks, he's also relatively new to this team. I believe this is his either first or second year with the team. So he's still building that chemistry with the players he's leading as well. So a lot of room for this team to grow.
Absolutely. We've seen some facilitating going on with coaches. I know when it was my freshman year here, there was a new coach. Then it seemed like there was a new coach my sophomore year, and now there's another new coach in here. So for this team to kind of stay consistent and at least come out with a fight and kind of get to know each other, that's huge for the team.
Right now the Rams trying to make a big play. 2 Lobes diving after the puck, centering, pass bouncing, puck loose, couldn't quite find it. Duran was looking for it. Hoffman racing to try and capitalize for his team, but it just got away from him. Now just about 3 minutes left to go in the period as the puck gets sent all the way down for another icing call. A little bit of chaos in the GCU zone there, and we're going right back. Maybe it'll continue.
Absolutely. GCU's really had to step it up on defense, especially after they had those 3 goals scored pretty quickly on them. I think they've done a pretty good job with that, but I still think we're seeing some sloppy play from GCU, whether that be some exhaustion like I talked about with their crazy travel schedule that they've had not just today but also all season. But they're going to really need to fix that and start scoring on offense and being able to come down and get in the back of the net.
Yeah, limit those opportunities that that the Rams are having right now and making more of their own. Right now they're almost seizing the counterattacks, but this might be one right here for the Lobes, taking a shot just right into the chest of Morgan, and he almost freezes as he just lets the puck flow right into him.
Absolutely. That's a picture moment right there. Ready to capture it all.
He was waiting for the flash, I think.
He was.
Riley to face off against Carter in CSU zone. Lobes will win the faceoff, tried to pass it across, still able to work. It takes a shot, and another glove save by Morgan. Very confident right now in that crease. Another faceoff. The Lobes will win it. Passing in the blue line, takes a shot, bouncing on the way there. Couldn't quite make it on net towards Morgan. Millar's going to try and put some speed behind this play. Turns, looks to find the pass across in towards the slot. Was looking for Joseph, but Joseph was occupied with a lope at the time. And players spin around like a record. I've been saying that a lot lately. Players just getting tangled up with each other a lot.
Absolutely. You're going to have to really start working on that communication and being able to break out of that.
This might be a chance as the Lobes were trying to make a push, but it just got knocked away, and I think that one's going to go against the Rams.
Yeah, but like I was saying, Litos, if you communicate with each other, then you kind of eliminate some of that sloppy play, and we saw a lot of that in the first period. Part of the reason probably why they weren't able to really get in the back of the net for the Rams, but we've seen them constantly get tangled up with each other or caught up, and they really are going to need to start communicating with each other, especially defensively, so that they can avoid another shot for GCU. But it's also really important for CSU and the Rams, just because if they want to continue taking leads like they have so far, they need to do that on offense and not run into each other.
Yeah, and it looks like Gillis just took a hit. He immediately is holding, it looks like he's holding his right hand. He dropped his stick, didn't even go for it a second time, and immediately skated off the bench, or skated onto the bench. So we'll look to see if he's okay, but right now a lot of speed from Tolnai as he was pushing it towards the zone. Tried to pass it back, but it just got away. Lopes will dump it out of the zone. It's going to go towards Tontat. Getting some more ice time tonight. Tolnai will send it ahead around the boards. Duran's going to come out himself. He's got Jeffhart in front of him. Jeffhart actually able to break up the play for just a moment. Duran comfortably back in towards the crease. 1:15 left to go in the period. Still no goal scored for at least a little while. Stick side save by Duran. It's been a little bit since the team was able to find the back of the net. Moreno sends it back in deeper towards Jeffhart. Back to the point. Looking to fire, but it just goes off a pad. Sent around the board. Less than a minute now in the period. Lopes able to take it out of the zone. Moreno gets it across towards Cowden. He's going to carry it across the center line and into the zone himself. He's able to leave the ground there for a second. Actually shakes off a Lope at the same time. Tried to pass it in towards the center. Lopes break up the play. Nice job. They get it out of the zone. However, Rams still having possession. Rams took a lot more control this period. Lopes able to try and almost force a turnover there and knocked down as they tried to clear it out. Nice heads-up play. Just about 20 seconds left in the period. Lopes trying to see what they can do in the last moments here. Riley has it for CSU. 15 seconds now. He's going to try and put some speed. Just got shaken up a little bit. He's going to carry it into the zone himself one more time. Going to shoot it and goes off the pads of Durant. Still some time. 5 seconds left. Just in the crease, loose puck. Lopes will clear it out. Hoffman knocks it down. He's going to try and fire maybe in the last second. We'll just dump it ahead as the final buzzer sounds. So after a longer second period, Rams able to take the lead 3-1. They got 3 unanswered goals, but then the Lopes responded, getting one back. Sydney, anything sticking out from you about the second period as the teams head into the locker room?
Absolutely. I think we saw a lot after they came out of the locker room. They came out really fired up, and it really showed. But after that, we started to see some of that sloppy play again. So just for the Rams to be consistent, I know it's been a long season, even a long week for them, especially coming off that loss after they had 2 great overtime wins against the Buffs. They're just going to need to head into this locker room with a good mindset, knowing that they're up, but also a mindset to keep fighting and knowing that this game's not over. GCU could easily answer back with a few more goals.
Definitely you gotta play till the very last buzzer. But we have one more period of hockey coming up after this. CSU leading 3-1 as we take another short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuning into the third period of action between CSU and GCU hockey. Teams have switched sides for presumably the last time tonight. We put another 20 minutes up on the clock. Right now, the current score, CSU leading 3-1 over GCU. I'm Litos Castro, joined by Sydney Wicker, of course, and Scott Slidister running it all behind the scenes. Sydney, a whole different period in period number 2 that we saw than the first one.
Absolutely. Talk about a game change from the first period to the second. It was like watching 2 totally different teams out here. That goes for GCU as well as CSU. But coming out of the locker room, getting on the ice for this third period, smiles on these Rams faces, especially the coach. So they're excited to be out here. They know they're up, but they have to keep onto it if they want to win this game.
Yep, definitely can't get too comfortable in your lead right now, and they're trying to see if they can increase it even more. Found us with a shot deflected out of play, so we're going to get already our first face-off after the puck drop. But yeah, like you were saying, just 2 different teams that came out, and I'm wondering if we're gonna see the 2 teams have different identities in the third period, or it's gonna be almost a repeat of the second one.
Absolutely. I mean, a win's a win if CSU is able to pull this off, but you also have to reflect on some of that sloppy play. You know, you don't have a lot of games. Oh, there's one more left, in fact, tomorrow. You know, so when you're coming down to the wire, I feel like you want to see the best version of your team playing, not the sloppiest or the laziest. So hopefully, you know, they can turn around here in the third period and it can leave a good mindset going into tomorrow's game.
I'm sure that's something they'll be aiming for. One thing to note for GCU is staying out of that penalty box. And honestly, you could talk about it for both teams. Gebhardt moving in, trying to drive onto the net. Not quite finding the finish, though, turning it around the other way. But GCU specifically heading into that box a lot, almost repetitively in that last period. The numbers really just shot up for him. And that time in the penalty box is time at not scoring usually. Nelson with a shot just goes wide. Puck at center ice, and Kyle Nelson sends it across to Noah Miller. Scored one of the goals last period for the Rams. As far as the goal scorers right now, Noah Miller has one. Another shot just goes wide off the glass. Noah Miller, Kyle Nelson, and Ben Joseph are the goal scorers for the Rams. On the other side, for the Antelopes, Luke Stevenson has the lone goal for the Lopes.
Yeah, for Kyle Nelson, that's 13 points on this season. He made that tonight. Pretty impressive, you know, talking to that guy. He is a junior, so he's still got some time to play. But, you know, I talked to him before he went into that game against CU that was last Friday, and his biggest thing to me was just saying that this team wants to fight. And I think we saw that in the game against CU, and I think we're seeing that again tonight. It's impressive for the Rams to have that turnaround mentality.
And they definitely turned it around last period. However, the Lopes seeing if they can find their own turnaround. A huge crash into the boards. I believe that was Miller trying to deliver a check, but just didn't find the full connection. A Lope down on the ice real quick, and he looks hurt. That's actually Carter, the lead point producer for GCU. Almost looked like he was holding his chest area, but he's standing up right now.
Yeah. Declan Carter, you know, he's been someone that's been a little more silent in this game. He's the leading scorer on this team with 19 points for the Lopes. I was kind of expecting to see a little bit more from him, and I don't know if we necessarily have. Hoping that he's not injured, and, you know, that's never something you want to see from a player, but.
Looks like they're sending him into the penalty box.
That also does not feel good. Adding to another Lope penalty, as you were talking about earlier.
There's the pain of, there's the physical pain, and then there's the game pain, and now you got another 2 minutes against you. This will be the first penalty of the third period and the first power play for the Lopes, or excuse me, for the Rams in period number 3. They actually took him out, and so they put one for the Rams as well. So Carter is in the box for GCU, and I believe Joseph is in the box for the Rams. Near side shot for the Lopes just goes wide, and it comes all the way out. So someone is sitting in the box right now for the Rams. However, shot coming, and that's gloved up by Morgan. He actually drops it almost immediately. Joseph is in the box for hooking and boarding for Carter. The interesting thing is there's 5 men out on the ice for the Lopes and 4 for the Rams. So this is a power play for the Lopes, actually. Pass in, deep shot, scores! The Rams, short-handed, get a goal.
That is the second time we've seen that for the Rams. That's how they got their first goal in the second period, and now the first goal of the third period. I think they just love playing with one guy down. Maybe it makes them fight a little harder, dig for something a little bit deeper, but it sure has worked, and now they're up by 3.
That's got to sting for the Lopes a little bit to have all 5 out and give up a shorthanded goal, but it's got to feel good for the Rams. And we've talked about it all night, is just looking to finish out the season strong, and right now they're doing it with 4-1, 17-26 left in period number 3. The officials discussing something with the Lopes bench, it looks like, or just near the Lopes bench. It looks like they're more talking to each other than talking to the players right now. The coach isn't in on the conversation, so there's no questions as far as they're going. I'm not sure what the situation is.
No, just as they're trying to figure this out. Something that I can't help myself but think about, I grew up in Hockey Town in downtown Detroit, and so seeing a team from Arizona, I know it can be quite a controversial topic, but I just wonder where all these guys got their passion from for hockey, because, in Arizona and places that are a lot warmer, it doesn't tend to be as popular, but for them to find a love for the sport, I think that's really unique and something really special, especially with some of these western states.
Yeah, and I think both of us have probably heard, opinions that hockey shouldn't be where there isn't cold or snowy or icy temperatures. But I mean, why does it? If you ask me, find the love of the game no matter where you are, and I think you'll see that in some of these players. I mean, you'll see players, especially from the Rams. Obviously, they've got faces from Colorado, lots of them, but you'll see California. You'll see across the country players coming in. So I get what you're saying. I feel what you're saying right there. Right now, the Lopes trying to see if they can get something from the power play with just about 40 seconds left to go with the man advantage. However, they have to retreat out of the zone one more time. Center ice dumped in towards the corner. That's going to get there first for CSU and dump it right back out. Just not making it easy for GCU right now.
Absolutely. That's something the Rams team should do, not in a mean way at all, but when you have a win and you're at home, that's something you want to have. And of course, they haven't won the game completely yet, but being able to really take advantage of that, make it easier for some of your players, that is definitely key.
And Miller gets tangled up with a Lope right there. He was trying to yank his stick out, but it looks like it just got caught up. That's number 82, Brett Ruiz, who I'm not sure if the puck went down his pants or something, or if he was just holding on to it, but
just got twisted up with each other.
We've seen some crazy things, especially if you look at plays in the NFL. I mean, goalies have scored on themselves because the puck is bounced off the back wall and into the back of their pants, and while they're looking for it, they just end up backing into the goal. So I mean, anything is oddly possible here on the ice.
Yes, absolutely. I think that applies to all sports, too. You never know what's going to happen, but, things like this, these are things that you'll remember, and, it's hard to forget.
Rams survive the penalty, so an unsuccessful power play for the Lopes, and even more successful penalty kill for the Rams. Lopes trying to come away with the faceoff. Morgan comes out of his net to try and send it back around. Lopes not able to intercept it on the way there. Caught up near the glass on the near side. Actually breaking free is Gebhardt now. He's moving in from the near side, and nice breakup by the Lopes there as Gebhardt was trying to make a play on to Duran. That was very smart. Well done defensively. Puck back in towards the corner. Lopes come away with it. It's dumped out of the zone. Lopes have the clock against them right now. Stevenson, again, the only one to score for his team. His first point of the season, so that's got to feel good for him. But right now, his team also has to pick it up in that point production if they want to stay in this game. Shot on towards Morgan, gloves it up and quickly drops it, hands it off to Tontat. Kotak with the shot behind that, and the Rams will start from their own zone. Long ice pass, couldn't quite get it to Nelson. Nelson actually shook his hand a little bit. That wasn't the best pass, but it got the job done. They deflected, they made the change, and we'll get an icing call back in to the Lopes zone. I don't think we've seen icing go the other way. It's only been the Lopes, really, that send it on down the long way, and now we're heading back.
And quite a few times we've seen that happen in this game tonight.
It was weird because there was none of that in the first period. Again, honestly, just game-wise, a whole different first and second period, and now we're in period number 3. Rams have gotten another goal to extend their lead.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little more consistency from the Rams. I think that's where they started to slack, but definitely staying strong. Another shot on goal.
Back in towards the corner, just sent around one more time behind Duran's net. Another shot coming, a big body block, rebound goes wide. Tolnai has it one more time. Rams trying to apply some more physical aggression there, looking to find Gillis, but couldn't get the connection. Just caught up behind Duran's net one more time. Max Engel comes in to help out. He's got an elope on his back, and it's actually knocked away from Colin Madrid, doing a good job to provide some chaos. Another shot coming, blocked in front, deflected, looking for another is a Gillis, but just shot wide. I think that was deflected on the way there. Another wind up by Hoffman and deflected, goes off the back of the glass. 14 minutes left in period number 3. Rams are really applying some good pressure right now. And Antelope loses his stick. He's going to go for a change right now. Hoffman with a shot. Big save by Duran, trying to be knocked down, just loose in front, now behind. Tolnai trying to hold on to it, deflected up in the air, and the Lopes will have a moment to breathe. What an offensive attack that was by the Rams, as the Lopes will make a change, and I'm sure it's one that they needed. Hoffman tries to send it on ahead, and he will as he makes a change off the ice. He'll get his replacement. Tolnai still out there for the Rams. He'll go down and broken up, turnover for CSU. Tyler Nelson will send it on ahead. Always got to remember that there's 2 Nelsons for CSU, and they're only one number apart because they don't want to make it easy. Riley moving it on in. Tried to drive on net but couldn't quite find a shot. Another one coming from Nelson, blocked on the way there. Lots of bodies just getting in the way of shots for CSU right now. Riley backhanded towards Joseph near the board. North tried to send it on head. It looks like it bounced off of Joseph, but it looks like it's going to be a penalty on the Lopes.
You're definitely starting to see the Lopes get a little more frustrated and angry, which is easy to see when they're constantly having guys in that penalty box. But if you want to win the game, you got to play true. And you got to come out and you got to play like you're supposed to play. But when you keep putting yourself in positions to have men down, you're not helping yourself at all.
Another chance, like you're saying, Sydney, for the Rams to just increase their lead with a power play as Brett Ruiz goes into the box. And this is a 5-minute major, actually. I'm not sure what the actual call was, but 5-minute major, so this is going to be a big one.
Box, absolutely. We've seen this game definitely start to get more and more aggressive, so maybe the refs are trying to make a stance against it and say, you know, you've got about 13 minutes left in the game. Play it and play it true. So they're probably also tired of sending some guys to the penalty box as well.
And, you know, these officials, they're pretty used to how the Rams play. Deflecting, puck bouncing on net, and Duran survives that one. 10 seconds gone by it, but this is a big chance for the Rams to almost put this game away in terms of mathematical terms, where if you score to the point where it have to be insane, you need a goal almost every 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's doable, but difficult. And I'm sure this is something that Coach Daniel Roy for GCU is looking to keep note of for tomorrow night, and things that they don't want to repeat when they have the rematch against the Rams tomorrow.
Absolutely. All you can do is learn from your mistakes and what you've made. And now they have a whole night to rest and kind of get ready to come back out on the ice. We'll have to see if that has any impact. But like we said, this GCU team is so new to this D1 level. They can't be mad completely at the way that they're playing because they're still competing with these teams. You know, CSU does have a lead on them 4-1, but they're still competing and they're trying and they're giving it all out there.
Another save from Duran, and I think one thing that the Lopes are going to look to duplicate, shot on net, bouncing puck, and it's cleared out, almost kept in by Gillis. He got his skate on it, but it just comes loose. But I think GCU is going to look to duplicate more of the first period tomorrow night from what they had today, where they really were putting the Rams on their heels and were, even when they were on the penalty kill, still attacking and almost forcing shorthanded chances of their own. So I think that's going to be something that they look to continue into tomorrow.
And looking at the Rams' mindset, obviously if they're able to finish this one off strong, you know, there's about 12 minutes left in the game, but if they're able to finish it, then knowing that they have to continue to eliminate some of their sloppy play and be quick to scoring, because that's essentially what has helped them, but we also have seen them in many positions where it's hurt them a little bit, and it's come down to their side, and they've really had to step it up on defense.
Shot scores! Just off the face-off, GCU gets one back as the Rams had a penalty called against them. Riley went into the box, and now it's a 2-goal game as Trey Green gets the goal to make this a 2-goal game.
Yeah, that's now his 15th goal of the season, so props to him. You know, he's getting up there close to those guys. He's now tied with Corey Potak, you know, for 15 goals this season for the Lopes.
That's got to feel good.
Absolutely.
To get that goal to put the lead to 2 only for the Rams. However, they still have 3:47 left of their 5-minute major that they have to survive. However, this is a 4-on-4 for at least another 145. Unless the Rams are going to put themselves in the box one more time, but I'm sure that discipline is going to need to come in right now. This is something that the Rams, like you're talking about, eliminating that sloppy play. You can't have any of that right now. You don't want to let GCU think that they can get back into this game.
Absolutely. As soon as you allow that to happen, you only hurt yourself and you only hurt your teammates. So, you know, continuing to do that and really just play out for the seniors as they have tonight and tomorrow. You know, we see Joseph out on the ice, which is good for him to get more playing time as he's wrapping up his year. But, you know, this is where you got to give it your all, and you can't make those little mistakes.
Miller with a shot got blocked on the way there. Green, who just scored the goal, now playing some defense. Rams another shot from the point, just gets deflected wide. Moreno has it for the Rams. Caught up along the boards. Lopes is trying to get it out. Moreno actually gets the pass across before he gets bounced off. Takes a shot, just goes wide. Was possibly looking for that far post or a centering pass, but didn't find a connection. Gets broken up, and now Green just scored the last one. He's trying to make a breakaway opportunity, and he's going to get it. Takes a shot. Huge save by Morgan. Rebound. Not able to get it. Just goes behind the net. Green was looking for goal number 2, and a man goes down for the Rams. The crowd, and I'm sure the Rams bench want a penalty for that one, but they're not going to get it. Wind-up shot and knocked down by Morgan. He lost it for a second, tried to glove it up, but it just luckily bounced right under him, and he just kind of sat on the puck.
Absolutely. Like we said, I've been so impressed by Joe Morgan in this game. And, you know, he's a standout goalie that we've seen all season, but just making some of those huge saves has really helped keep the score down for the Lopes. But, yeah, I've really been impressed watching him play tonight.
Yeah, one thing we've talked about in the past is how Morgan has saved the Rams in so many situations sometimes.
Absolutely.
And even in the games that they've lost, those games could have been way worse if it wasn't Morgan in between the posts. Gebhardt trying to find the centering pass, but no luck there. The penalty for the Rams just coming to an end. Shot scores! And the Rams answer back right at the end of their penalty.
Kyle Nelson with the goal. Gotta love it for the Rams. They're saying, not in my house today. Look at that. That's goal number 5. Really, really impressive.
With 9:45 left, the Rams increase the lead back to 3, and that's Kyle Nelson's second goal tonight. And they still have 152 of a 5-on-4.
Props to Nelson for just being one of those players that can definitely step up for his team. And like I said, you got to tell the other team, no, not here. This is us. This is for us to play. And I love seeing that, especially coming from Kyle Nelson.
I'm sure he loves the goal scoring himself, too.
Absolutely.
And he's got the puck again one more time behind Morgan's net. Leaves it for Gebhardt. He's going to carry it himself. Carries it across the center line and dumps it in. Comes back near the blue line, comes out.
He is able to get one more tonight. That'd be a hat trick for him. What a way to end a Friday night.
Start the weekend up strong for him.
Absolutely.
Lopes trying to make it difficult in CSU zone. However, Rams take it away. Able to get the pass off. Riley, who was just in the penalty box at the time of the last goal, has to shake off a little bit, crashing into the official. Official actually goes down, but he's all right. He's slowly getting up, and he's still ready to make the call. Got to admire any referee that stays in the game no matter what. Gebhardt with a shot blocked by the opposing number 7 of the Lopes. It's always fun when there's that mirror match going up there. Riley battling for the puck in the corner. Tries to get a little bit of help from Tolnai. Sent back in. Quick 1-2 as the puck went near the point. Kept in the zone. A smart job by Cowden. Comes back to him. Lopes trying to clear it out, but Rams doing a good job holding on to the puck. Nice puck possession right now. 30 seconds left before the 5-minute major is finally over for the Lopes, and they can get back to even strength. In towards the corner, passed across, wind-up shot by Cowden, it's knocked down by Duran. Collision in the boards, and Gebhardt takes it away. He's going to look to drive in net here. Nice breakup, and Gebhardt goes down with an antelope. And now it's out of the zone. 5 more seconds, and the Lopes will have their man back. Ruiz will finally be released from the box as the puck goes into CSU zone. 7:50 left. We've had 2 goals scored just recently, 1 for the Rams, 1 for the Lopes, 5-2. If you're just now joining us, you've missed a lot. But right now the Rams lead. The Lopes looking for a rebound shot, scores! Number 6, and the tally just keeps going up for CSU.
Ben Joseph, I like it. He just flicked that one right in there. Nice shot for the Rams. Like I said, tonight in Epic, this is the Rams' house, and they are not letting the Lopes in the back of the net again. We'll have to see if they can keep it up, but really, really impressive play. I don't think they like to lose after all those wins. Litos, what do you say?
You know, I think what we're seeing speaks for itself. 6-2 now in favor of the Rams, and you're seeing goal scorers. I mean, that's the second for Joseph tonight now.
Absolutely. Both of those guys, like I said, Kyle Nelson and now Ben Joseph, getting close to a hat trick. If they get one more in, very possible. They're showing us that they want to be on this side, and they want to be in the back of the net.
And it looks like a timeout's going to be called. I can only assume it's from, yep, that's going to be a timeout by the Lopes. So a chance to talk it over, maybe get the team back under control. Even if they're not going to win this game, they need to clean it up so that they can carry some of a good finish into tomorrow.
Absolutely. Right now is where if you can't come back, you at least need to find ways to slow down CSU so that they're not constantly scoring more and fix some of those mistakes. Like we said, spending 5 minutes in a penalty box, that's not okay for the Lopes when you're down a man for that long, you know? So hopefully right now, I'm sure Coach is telling them a few things that he wants to see different, but this is going to be key. If they can really step it up on defense and slow down the Rams, which I know that the Rams don't want to stop, but if they can, then that'll be huge for them, especially heading into tomorrow's game.
You know, Sydney, you speak very wise words. And
Thank you.
There's a lot at stake right now for the Rams, you know, as their season's finishing up. Like you're saying, they just can't give anything up right now. There's nothing. You can't just
play till the clock says 0-0. Play till the season's over. Don't quit. You got to give it your all till the very end.
Right now, Grayson North trying to add a tally himself, but couldn't quite find the back of the net. North and Nelson assisting on that last goal as we reach the 7-minute mark. In period number 3, could be almost a forced turnover there. Foundos was driving after the puck, but couldn't get it on his stick. He has it now, though. Near his own blue line, passes it back towards Nelson. Just gets it towards Millar. Quickly gets up after losing his foot. He takes a shot, goes off the stick side pad by Duran. Along the boards and near the glass. Puck tangled up.
Nice job by Duran there, kind of seeing that coming a little bit. And he seemed like he was prepared for that play, which I'm sure Coach was talking to him about. You've got to start predicting some of that play.
Tontat will send it around to Beaver. Both of them back out on the ice. Sending it on ahead, turnover, gets dumped back in as the Lopes will make a couple quick changes. So CSU will be able to take possession one more time. Beaver's got a couple Lopes on his back. He'll take a hit as he dishes it out of the zone. It gets dumped right back into the corner. Time left, 6:03 in the period as it gets knocked back into the corner one more time. Lopes just trying to establish a presence in CSU zone right now, but the Rams aren't making it easy. Some big aggressive nature there by Tontat, just really on that Lopes back. However, might be able to turn and shoot. Not really enough power behind it for it to be dangerous. Comes out of the zone. Collision near center ice. It's going to open up for Nitch, and he's going to get a breakaway of his own. Takes a shot. Glove side save by Duran to make the breakaway. shut down. Well done from him to be able to hold his composure. And the Lopes trying to find a counterattack, looking to send it on ahead, but it's just into the hands of the Rams. But what a shutdown for Duran. That's got to help boost his confidence, especially in a more one-sided game like this.
Yeah, absolutely, Litos. You said it. I told you earlier, having some key saves are going to be crucial right now, and we'll have to see if he can keep it up. But your goalie kind of holds down the fort for the team, so when he's not able to make some simple saves, which I'm not saying that he's had easy shots on his net, but when you're not able to do that, you make it a lot harder for yourself and for your team to come back.
Puck right at the center line. Lots of players battling for it. Comes loose in the hands of the Rams. Quick 1-2 passing. Nice quick passes from the Rams. They're really shaking up this Lopes defense. Hoffman carrying it himself near the faceoff circle. Pulls it back. Pass near the slot. Takes a shot right into the chest of Duran. Just gets knocked down. Not able to find a rebound. Kept in the zone by Nelson. But just knocked out. Rams have to reset. Nice little bit of action that the Rams were able to generate on offense. Caught up one more time. Rams trying to dump it in the zone. They will. But the Lopes trying to take some possession. Off the backboards behind Duran.
Coming down to those final minutes, we got about 4 minutes left to play. These Rams have really, really been putting everything they've got into these last couple minutes.
And if you would have asked me in the first period what the final score was, I would not have said what it is now.
I would not have either. The Rams have completely turned this game around. And like I said, we've seen two completely different teams. Props to the Rams for really being able to do that. That's not something that's easy to do. And, we brought it up a couple times just coming off of that loss, being able to bounce back. Not only having that mentality, but being able to prove that on the ice and from the back of their sticks. That's impressive.
And the Rams looking to keep it up. If you take a look at the score right now, just jumped back in, but both teams have doubled what their second period score was. 6 for the Rams and 2 for the Lopes as they're starting from their own zone, just holding it behind Duran for a moment. Hand it off, trying to use some speed behind this one. That's Green, who scored the second goal for the Lopes, gets caught up again. CSU doing a good job not letting it get into their own defensive end. Moreno with a shot, pad save, no rebound, gloved up as Campbell tried to just use one hand to send it forward off his stick. A little awkward, but Duran able to manage it.
Whatever works, right? Especially at this point in the game.
Now selling tires too, visit Fort Collins Comfort Automotive at 2001 South Valley.
Ruiz to take the face-off for the Lopes against Millar for CSU. Millar wins it, gets it back, wind-up shot by North, and almost lost in traffic for a moment. Kept in the zone for almost a second there, but gets by Nelson. It's a race for it, and the Lopes actually able to get there and take it back. Ruiz showing a lot of determination on that play, but he gets tangled up with a Ram and opens it up to go down the other way. Millar, he's got 2 Lopes in front of him. What can he do? Gets poke checked, and now it's back towards center ice. Nice quick pass from CSU, and Foundos will set it back towards Hoffman. Along the boards. In the center line, Millar gives it to Engel, who's got one big GCU man on his back trying to take a shot, but it just goes over the head of Duran.
Rams really keeping it on the Lope side over here, really trying to add to their score, which they definitely don't need to, but props to them for being tenacious.
Millar with another shot, and that one goes off the back of the boards. At this point, when you got 6 goals up on the board, most of your team is going to start saying, I want to turn. And Hoffman doing a good job to break down that offensive attack from the Lopes as they were gaining some momentum going down the other way. Passed across, just wind up, and it's sent back in. Was possibly looking for a shot there. That was Madrid, but he couldn't quite get the power behind it. Hoffman just holding it now, taking more time off the clock, just really pushing through to the final moments. Got 2 Lopes on him. Hoffman is really good at this. He could make a highlight reel of just holding the puck along the boards and almost coming away with it, but Hoffman actually got tangled up with a Lope for a second, and it's going down the other way. Tolnai looking for the pass across, and a little bit of a funky play there for CSU. And lots of players just getting wrapped up in each other's sticks. Nitchin had a moment there with Nick Terrera on the opposite side. in the corner of CSU zone. Tontat sends it all the way around. Just gives it to Nitchin. He's got a man to help and tries to send it towards Tolnai. He'll lose his footing as he slides all the way into the crease. Just chills for a second before he gets up, but the whistle blown. We'll get ready for a face-off with 1:24 left in period number 3. Sydney, this one looks like it's going to be put away for the Rams unless we see the miracle 4 goals in less than a minute and a half. But what's something that the Lopes are really going to need to work on as they go into tomorrow's game?
Absolutely. Well, I think so far even, they've gotten some of their guys. We haven't seen one in the penalty box for a while now here. So, really keeping up with that. Having aggressive play is good, but you can't be making errors like that where you're constantly down men. Not that that always has been the issue for them because they fought even harder, but it is something you do have to worry about if you are the Lopes.
1 minute remaining here in period number 3 as it gets dumped in. Anything for the Rams that you think they need to be working on? I think you've touched on those sloppy plays, trying to take a shot as Duran was out of his crease there, but those sloppy plays, yeah, for the Rams, just really something they need to clean up as well.
Absolutely. I think coming out strong on offense is going to be key for them, too. If they can get a goal or two in that first period, not that it changed the game for them tonight because they didn't score at all in that first period. We didn't see anything from either team. But just being able to come out with that confidence and have that in your team, that's what I would say the Rams just really need to focus on if they have anything to truly focus on. But they, coming home with a win and keeping that here at Epic is definitely key.
The final 15 seconds begin to tick down as the Rams looking for one more. Trying to find the pass into the slot, but it just went out of the zone. Tontat will give the last pass to Gillis there as he'll dump it in. Duran will go and hold it up behind his net. So the final seconds tick down here in Fort Collins. The Rams will get a win over the Lopes in game 1 of 2 between these two teams. They'll be facing off against each other tomorrow night starting at 7:45. And, of course, we will be here at ColoradoSports.TV covering that action for you. But nonetheless, a strong and commanding win for CSU tonight over GCU. Sydney, any final words before we send it home?
Holy goals. I love it. I love seeing those guys have their sticks and get that puck right in the back of the net, continuing to do that. We can see them right now thanking all their fans for coming out tonight. Lots of parents here, lots of students as well. So, I think just awesome to them, coming off of that loss once again and just really being able to do well tonight. That's huge for them, and I hope that they can go out tomorrow, even though it's not senior night, just wish those seniors well in their last game tomorrow. So I remember my last game as a senior when I played in high school, and it's an emotional time. So I just, wish them, the best of luck, especially the seniors on GCU's team as well. If they want to go home with a win to Arizona, they're going to have to leave it all out tomorrow, but a lot of adjustments to be made if you are the Lopes.
We'll see who can come out on top in the rematch tomorrow night. Sydney, thank you for joining us. Your first time calling with us at ColoradoSports.TV. We look forward and hope you come back soon. But that's going to do it for us here in Fort Collins. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Litos Castro signing off for Sydney Wicker. And a big thank you to Scott Slidester, who's running it all behind the scenes. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen.